Hi everyone. At the end of last week, I posted about two completions that we had in Langdon Hills. Posted about it on Friday. Two properties in the same chain. That I was so happy to get over the line and get some families moved in to their new homes and achieve their goals of what they want to do. I was so happy to get it over the line. But I wanted to just focus on a bit of a point I made on that post and go into a little bit more detail about it, because I talk a lot about how being a personal agent, running my own independent agency, how I'm different to other estate agents, and there are certainly agents that work in similar ways to me, but I think a very common misconception in the industry and people when they look at the estate agency industry is thinking that all estate agents are the same. They all work in the same way. They all do the same job. They all do the same things, which is not correct. They don't. A lot of agents do. There's a lot of agents that do the same things and do the same job. But the way of being a personal estate agent, in the way that I run my agency, is looking to go above and beyond, do things differently, do things better, and make the process easier for people looking to move home, and make it as easy and as stress-free. And that's difficult at times, but trying everything we can to make it as stress-free as we can, because moving home is a very stressful process. So whatever we can do to help that, we look to do, and that's the whole point of being a personal estate agent. And there's lots of things that I could talk through in a video about what I do for my clients, but this case in Langdon Hills, this completion that we had, was a bit of a unique one, where the owners of one of the properties lives in Australia and has done for 10 plus years, and then they come to selling the property. And actually going from when we agreed the sale through to exchange completion was actually a really good process. Worked with some great solicitors and moved it through quite, it was fairly straightforward. But then when we got close to exchange, there was still, and there wasn't a tremendous amount, but there was still some items in the property that need to be cleared. Now, a lot of the time, the client would have just been left to try and speak to a clearance company, get them to go in and liaise with them, go back and forth, work out times and access for the property, get that all sorted, then sort the payment, despite being on the other side of the world. And this, again, is just an example of, just one example of what I look to do in terms of making it easier. I worked with the company directly, the clearance company, sorted out all the access, had them in there over 2 days, clearing everything out, and also made the payment up front on the client's behalf, which has then been paid back on the end. But it just made them, but we initially funded it so they could go in and do the work, and the property would be cleared and ready on completion, and they didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to talk to the company. They've never spoken to the company. And it was all sorted for them. They knew it was happening, and it was done before completion, and they didn't have to worry. So that, I just wanted to actually make a video on that, because I know I mentioned it briefly in the caption on that completion post. But that's just one example of, as a personal agent, what we do and how we go above and beyond for clients to really help them and make it as stress-free as possible when they are moving home. So if you want to talk a little bit more about some of the other things that we do, obviously that's a very unique case, but what else as an agency we do to help our clients, and how what a personal agent means, what that means, and how that can benefit them, how that can benefit you, feel free to send us a message or give us a call, and we'll be happy to explain.